Irish Convention, which highlights the importance of public consultation and transparency. I would like to talk about the lack of consultation that Irish Cement in Mungret, where an Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, oral hearing was held virtually. Did you know that the objectors had to be kept in a virtual holding room before giving their statement? Does that sound like fairness? Where in Limerick now we are facing the biggest piece of infrastructure held in our county with the onset of the NM20 motorway to Cork, from Limerick to Cork. This week I've invited the project coordinator on it, the Limerick motorway, to speak to some of my constituents, virtual or Zoom meeting, which they've agreed to, which is actually going ahead tomorrow evening at 7:30. And I never realised how much of an issue that is until our phones in the office started hopping again this evening of people that have no broadband, that they cannot connect into it, that the speeds of their broadband, they cannot connect into it. People that don't have internet at all. So government, there is people in this country that don't have, and I mentioned today, over 21,000 houses in Limerick don't have adequate internet. And that means that they will not have an input into this meeting because, yes, they're holding one-on-one meetings, but the deadline has been extended now until the 15th of January for them to have the one-on-one meetings to get in their objections. The 2040 plan is going to stop all building in rural Ireland. I'm in construction all my life. I've been building houses all my life. I was a councillor before I became a TD. All the regulations that have been put in place, and Minister, it was your government that voted the 2040 planning at the moment. And did you know that if somebody at the moment goes to the expense of looking for planning permission in an area, even if they're from the area, if they meet all the criteria and somebody objects for some unknown reason, and it goes to Board Penala, that they're upholding the 2040 plan at the moment. Did you know that, Minister? So people are spending thousands to live in rural Ireland and live in their home place where they grew up are being discriminated against by ye because you voted on it. Some of the local authorities at the moment are moving to close down all consultation. This would allow those local authorities to move online meetings permanently. The recent ERSI report highlights the goals of the National Framework Development Plan 2040 shows increasing in housing demand, particularly in Limerick, Cork, Galway and Waterford. The ERSI report also highlights the urgent need for the National Planning Framework 2040 plan to be debated annually and voted upon in the Dáil. This is an absolute necessity. Can I say at this point that the ERSI collect independent research and remain committed to do this work, and is free from political bias. Minister, if you build a house in County Limerick, you have to pay planning contributions, and on your planning contributions says that on it that you're paying for infrastructure. You're paying for sewerage, which isn't there, because you're supplying your own at a massive expense of about 10 or 12,000. You're paying for roads, which are poorly kept because you're not giving enough money to the local authorities. And you have to pay 5,000 or 6,000 before you start. Right? And if you work out the planning, the environment that you've got through for a biosystem, and work out the contributions, and your ESB connection, 23 or 4,000 is an annual fee that anyone has to pay that if they want to live in rural Ireland. And all you've done, what you do, you increase the tax on people in Ireland that don't have infrastructure on fuel, so that it's going to cost them more to go to work, more to get their groceries, more to do anything, to go to school, because you've no infrastructure. This 2040 plan needs to be reversed and look after the people that are looking after you. You're taxing us to death with everything from our fossil fuels because you've left us with no infrastructure. And if we want to build in rural Ireland, you're taxing us even more.
Thank you, Deputy.